Hey, what's up guys? It is your boy Manny here and welcome to another video on the channel. Today we've got our England versus Croatia match reaction, and if you guys aren't aware, the score was 1-0 to England. I mean, it could have been 2 if Foden scored that amazing chance. I mean, he did really well to make a chance out of nothing, but it was unfortunate it hit the inside of the post. Let's talk about the way the match started. Let's talk about the formation, let's talk about the lineup, let's talk about everything. And if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all of that good stuff, because I'm telling you guys, you're gonna see more of me if you enjoy this content. Well, I hope so anyways, but let's get straight into it. Firstly, 1-0. The goal scorer was Raheem Sterling. Great finish. And one thing I do want to say, Calvin Phillips with the setup and, well, as they say, assist, and he played absolutely exceptionally. He's my man of the match for today. I mean, he has been literally everywhere. He was pressing very high up, and the funny thing is, he played a lot more aggressively than I thought he would. The lineup suggested that we're going to be playing 2 DMs, but one of those DMs were actually playing in a defensive role, but very high up the pitch to provide that high press. Now, we actually don't do that enough. I mean, France do that a lot with Kante because he pushes up very high and he reads the game very well. We had that from Calvin Phillips for the first time in an English shirt. That's what I feel, and I think that was amazing. I mean, my man of the match by far. Raheem Sterling played really well. He was just energetic everywhere. Rashford came on and even he just looked like if there was a chance, it would have landed to him. He was only on for 15 minutes though. Now, I just want to talk to you guys about the selection though. We played our right back at left back. Luke Shaw's had an amazing season. He didn't play, but who did? Trippier played at left back. Now, I'm not going to complain because he actually played very decently. He defended quite well. Yes, he couldn't whip in those crosses with his left foot when he got into those opportunities or those areas. The reason being is obviously because he's right-footed, and also he's not used to that side. Now, the reason why Gareth Southgate actually went for that is probably because there was no real set-piece taker. And we did have Mason Mount, who nearly scored a free kick as well. So personally, I think if you're going to compensate with your best left back just to have a set piece taker, I wouldn't do it, bro. Like, Southgate, listen to me, or listen to everyone else who's saying it. Just play Luke Shaw or Chilwell. You'll be way better off. I do like Trippier though. I actually think that Trippier's had a better game than Kyle Walker overall, but Kyle Walker had defensively an amazingly immaculate game. He kept Perisic super quiet, and to do that is very difficult. Now, we've talked about kind of the lineup because yeah, we've basically said about what we didn't like. Another thing I didn't like about the lineups is that we started 2 CDMs. Like, why didn't we play Bellingham and Rice or whatever? But Gareth Southgate showed that it doesn't really matter if we're playing 2 CDMs because one of them will push high up on the pitch. So I am okay with that. I've got no qualms with that. What I did have a problem with is obviously the Trippier situation. So I hope he gets that sorted ASAP. But one thing I do want to say, guys, is England are looking very dangerous. I mean, the first 30 minutes of the game, we were on the front foot and then we eased the break, because you can't do that for 90 minutes, like, it's impossible. But those 30 minutes actually set the tempo for the whole game. Like, there was no period in the game where Croatia was on top, and even when they were passing about for 20-30 minutes, it didn't look like they were going to score. Whereas England looked like they could score any chance at any given moment, and that nearly came by in the first 20 minutes from a guy called Phil Foden. He got the ball on the half turn, he cut inside, left foot, hit the inside of the post. If it went in, we might be even looking at a 3 or 4-0 scoreline, because the way that England was dominating in that first half was absolutely incredible. Now, Harry Kane kind of wasn't in the game today, but it wasn't a game really for him, so he did start dropping deep and providing these outlets where he could just come in, chest the ball and pass it left or right. Now, this is where Sterling really thrived, because it allowed him to stretch the defense and actually tire them out during times of transition. Now, the reason why, yes, a lot of these weren't seen and it was only a 1-0 scoreline was because England was so good off the ball that Croatia couldn't do anything. Even every time they tried to get into the box, Tyrone Mings would just clear it, or same with John Stones. Now Tyrone Mings is another person I didn't want to play today, and guess what? He played absolutely exceptionally. Like, his clearances, no nonsense stuff. He was in the right position, right time. Every time that John Stones missed it, he would recover. Every time that he would miss it, John Stones would recover. The partnership between the two was amazing. The fact that he was left-footed as well, I really liked it, because there were a few passes he played in straight to Harry Kane from his left foot, and Harry Kane literally passed it into either Foden or Raheem Sterling, and I thought that was in itself amazing stuff. But yeah, the game in itself, I'm very happy to be an England supporter, because this is the first time I've seen us play with such high intensity. Yes, it was slightly a boring game for around about 30 minutes, but you can't be exceptional for 90 minutes, can you? It's really difficult. I mean, even Man City can't do it, and they've got way better players as a whole than England do. But as I wanted to say, the quality on the bench today was amazing too. Like, we had Bellingham come on, and he actually made a difference. He was the extra body in midfield, and then even when Croatia wanted to dominate, they couldn't do it, because you take off Harry Kane, you bring on a guy like Rashford, and then you bring on an extra midfielder. You're basically compacting midfield, and if you want to counter, England had the facilities to do so, because at one point they had Raheem the Dream Sterling and also our boy Rashford. So I actually thought the game today was very well played. England did a good job. If I'm gonna rate the players out of 10, I mean, let's start with goalkeeper. Let's do our player ratings now. So in goal, we're gonna have to go with Pickford, and Pickford, calm, composed, did his job, wasn't really tested. I'm gonna go 6.5, because he hasn't really had anything disturbing or anything that he really had to fight for. Next, we're going to go to our right back, who was Kyle Walker. Now, defensively, he was a solid 9 or 10 out of 10. He was so good. And going forward, he was quite poor. But just for that, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10, because overall, he was really exceptional. Then, right-sided centre-back, we're going to go with John Stones. John Stones, I'm actually going to give him a 7 as well. He didn't put a foot wrong this whole game, played really well. Good relationship with Kyle Walker, as we know. Good relationship with Mings, who I'm also giving a 7, because he played really well, not a foot wrong. Same with Trippier. I mean, the whole backline I think deserves a 7, because every time the ball got to them, they would just clear it. They would just deal with it, no problem, no effort whatsoever. Then we're into our midfield. Now, Declan Rice wasn't in the game a lot today, but I'll tell you one thing, he was cutting out. He was reading the game so well, and he was sitting deep. He, a lot of the time, didn't allow it to actually reach the defense. His relationship with Phillips was exceptional, and Declan Rice was literally everywhere, but nowhere to be seen. Now, if you watch football, you will understand exactly the kind of player I'm talking about and why I'm rating him so highly right now in this game. But I'm going to give him a 7.5, because he allowed Calvin Phillips to actually drift into these positions and play super well. Now that we're talking about Calvin Phillips, we might as well just go straight to him. He is my man of the match, and he is a 9 out of 10. Our third midfielder, Mason Mount, really good. A couple of half turns, stretching the defense, playing exceptionally well. Nearly scored a free kick as well. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. A left winger, Raheem Sterling, I'm also giving an 8 out of 10. And Harry Kane, I am giving a 7 out of 10. Before we go on to the subs, we still need to talk about one guy who got the Gascoigne hairstyle. That is Phil Foden. I need to give him a nickname, don't I? But anyway, Phil Foden, we know how exceptional he was in the first 30 minutes. He was the player that looked like could score from nothing, and he nearly did. Sorry guys, I just heard the wind moving bare mad, and then the door was slamming. But anyways, Phil Foden actually did a madness, and just for that, yes, I'm gonna give him a lower score than most of the people that did well, but that's only because he wasn't on for the whole 90 minutes, and he dropped off after the 30 minutes played, probably because of his high intensity. But I'm still going to give him an 8 out of 10. I would say that he did about the same amount as Raheem the Dream Sterling, and Raheem Sterling was on the pitch for a lot longer, so that's why I'm just going to give him that 8 out of 10. Although he didn't score a goal, he was so close, and he was pivotal to keeping the tempo high in the first 30 minutes of the game. So let's go on to the substitutes. Now we had, I believe, 3 or 4 substitutes that came on. So the first substitute was it was Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham came on, and I think that I'm gonna have to give Jude Bellingham a 7. He was actually making a difference, doing well, playing well, doing what he needed to do, right? Then I'm gonna go with Marcus Rashford. Rashford didn't really see any of the ball. He looked to stretch the defense. He looked very sharp, you know. Rashford actually looked very, very sharp, even though he didn't really touch the ball. Now, how weird is that to say? But I'm just gonna give him a 6 because he hasn't actually impacted the game. And same with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He came in at the end, so he didn't really impact the game. I'm gonna have to give him a 6 out of 10 as well. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I want to see more of this Euro related match reaction content. If you guys do, make sure to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that good stuff. But also guys, if you want to see FIFA content, let me know down below because we will provide that to you guys too. Till next time guys, in a bit. Peace.